Do 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 do. Here, here, and here. All right, so awesome, 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 good stuff. Here. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. I had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier trying to get this set up, but everything's fine now with the broadcaster, it looks like. So, so good stuff there. I'm glad everybody's able to make it here tonight. So today we're going to be continuing our series on what happened with, and today we're going to be talking about what happened with Tesla today. So what happened with Tesla today? So it should be a good one today. Tesla is pretty impressive. Before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the markets here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening, and then we're going to go through the topic, then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so the SPX today, guys, up about 13 points here today, continuing the never-ending wave up, right? So it's just this continuing to work its way up right here. Guys, I mean, one of the things I put in the newsletter this weekend was the quarterly chart. We've moved more in the last 3 quarters than we moved in the 9 quarters since the financial crisis. It's really incredible. So a huge move up right here. The monthly chart continues to go. Weekly chart getting a little bit overbought finally. Last time it got overbought, we had this bearish divergence here, which ultimately led to the Corona crash, right? So now the real question is, all right, we get into bearish divergence now, and you know, when will we know? Well, the big time when we're really going to know is when the daily chart breaks down below its macro upward trend line, right? So we're still kind of a ways away from this one right here. And right now, we're still counting a wave up. If we kind of go back to where we started, huge impulsive move up since the Corona crash wave 3, ABC wave 4, right? And we kind of had this 1, 2, 3, 4, and we think we're in wave 5 right now of the end of this this wave, right? But it just keeps on going, right? So so the real question here is, you know, how much more can it go, right? So we kind of have this 1, 2, right? We're kind of in this wave 3-ish. We kind of had this wave 3-ish type. We still think we're in wave 3 right here. 1, 2, and maybe in wave 3 right here. So we may be in wave 3 of 5 of 3 right now. As we continue to work our way up, we're just kind of see where that goes. So we do have a nice kind of 1, 2, right? 3, we think we're finishing at wave 3 of 5 up here, right? Because it's got a subwave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we think we're in a wave 3 of 5. So it is possible. We just need to see if this thing starts to pull back. It just hasn't been showing any signs yet. But we certainly actually got a couple little signs here today. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see what they're looking like here this evening. And I'll show you what happened here today, which is kind of interesting. So so today was pretty cool. One of the big things that happened today was the Johnson & Johnson vaccine news, right? And so, you know, they basically came out and said it was, you know, causing issues, and the market really just started to flush on that news, right? Out of nowhere. This is pre-market, right? I was writing the bubble report, you know, early this morning, you know, 5 a.m.-ish, and we're just kind of grinding our way up right here. I'm working on the report. I was like, well, you know, and I go back, I finish it up, right? And then I'm getting ready to send the email, and we get this huge flush down. I got to redo everything. It changes the whole game plan around. So anyway, so what was interesting was this is kind of like an interesting shot across the bow, right? Some little scary news like that really shook the market, even with the VIX as low as it's been, right? So that's definitely something to keep an eye on right now. Now, did they buy it right back up? They sure did. There was, you know, we had the inflation numbers coming in today. And supposedly they're a little bit better than expected, and but I don't know how the market really digested it, right? It kind of did this for a while. It was like, I don't really know, and then it just kind of went up on low volume, right? So, and now you can see like we've got, you know, kind of this big volume here, right? That kind of was part of the red candles, right? So it's very, very interesting as you see it kind of work its way up here. So in the meantime, let's just continue to track these geometric lines and see what we've got going in here for tonight, right? So we've got a couple macro ones right here, but this one here we've already lost this evening, and it looks like we've confirmed below it with a little bit of increasing volume, right? So at this point now we're kind of doing this, right? So we're just kind of chopping. So let's see what we do going into tonight and going into tomorrow, and then we will go from there. But very, very interesting stuff. Interesting shot across the bow here this morning. So good stuff, guys. So that being said, let's go to the topic here. And the topic today is what happened with Tesla. What happened with Tesla today? So Tesla went up today after a while. Right, this thing's been in a bear trend, right, in a bearish trend for a while. It's so funny because sometimes you see these things go down, and you look at it and you're like, wow, it's gonna. I mean, the macro downward trend line was way up here. Like the bump line seemed more like a trend line just by the angle of it, right? But you could see here it was like, wow, are we ever gonna get here? But sometimes by default, just by going sideways, you get up to it, and then you can break the trend and start moving again, which is really, really interesting. Right, so so this kind of shifted things right into a downward trend, and so we've been in this trend box right here, and we finally broke above it with increasing volume today. Now this is still the bump line trend box. We're still haven't confirmed above the macro downward trend line yet, right? So we have not pushed above this line yet, right? So this is gonna be very important. I don't know why it kind of shifted up here a little bit, but I can kind of move it down a little bit here. I think it does it. I think it does it a little bit differently based on the whatever chart you're in. But anyway, generally we're looking at this right here. So. Big candle right here. We pushed above the 50-day moving average, rising 80 MA. We're over the cloud. We had a gap. So what happened today? Why did Tesla get going? Well, a lot of this had to do with where it opened, right? And so if you guys remember our series from last week or from last time, where we talked about gaps, right, and trading gaps. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Gosh, thank you. Sorry. All right, cool. So yeah, so Tesla. There we go. Got it. Okay, so Tesla. So anyway, so let's start over again right here. So Tesla, what happened today? So it's okay. You missed some of the secrets behind it. So anyway, real quick recap of what I just said, where I had the screen up. So I was like, oh, wait, switch screen. I see exclamation points. Anyway, so good stuff there, right? So the big thing is we had this bump line, but we're still below the macro downward trend line right here. So so this is key, right? We need to get above this, but we have confirmed about the bump line trend box with increasing volume. So this trend box ends up going away, right? And our short-term trend is, oops, I think I duplicated it. Our short-term, oh my gosh, I duplicated it again. Why is this happening? So our short-term trend is up, right? So we're working on, that's the bump, right? Now we're going to see if we get the run, right? If we get the run, we confirm above this, right? Then our short-term trend remains up until we get back to all-time highs, where we can shift the macro upward trend line up. Okay, so we're just basically kind of working on this move. The kind of cool part about this is also formed like a bubble pattern harmonic here to the upside, which is kind of cool as well. But anyway, so what happened? Why did Tesla go up today? Well, a lot of it had to do with the gap. Right, so did it gap up for any particular reason? Not really, right? I mean, it wasn't really like a major upgrade or anything. It just gapped up, right? A lot of things just started to move pre-market, right? So that was cool. So we talked about last week, right? The last series we did on gaps, we talked about basically the power gap, right? Because we didn't really gap above. It wasn't a true gap and go, right? Because we didn't gap over any major turning point levels, but we gapped into basically the edge of an important level right here. And once we could take out those levels, then things really started to get going. Right, so let's take a look at that as a review of the power gaps. Right, so the big move right here was this. Yesterday's intraday pivot levels. Right, so we had this here. Okay, well that was tagged pre-market, right? So we basically got over all those other major levels, from pre-market here, and then from there, right, we go for we have our pre-market levels here, which we cleared early in the morning, right? And then we had the other levels that were on the daily chart that we got above too pretty quickly once we got above these levels here. So that was kind of the big deal on Tesla today, right? And so they didn't make it particularly easy, right? The 15-minute chart was strong, right? We closed above those levels here with this candle, so that's good, right? So the real question is, how much follow-through is Tesla going to have? And the thing is that the thing with Tesla is that it loves to squeeze out some shorts, and the shorts love to try to push this thing down. But sometimes when you see put activity coming on Tesla when it's really moving, right, you can kind of almost expect those to get squeezed out, right? So we saw that a bit today, right? We saw some put activity come through. It's like, I don't know if this is a good idea for them, right? So and then a little bit more volume kind of coming in, a little more stable. I love the increasing volume that happened here on the way up over the 80 MA. This was tricky, right? So opening move, yeah, cool, no problem. It got to move up. It hurt up, nasty retracer there, but it did bounce off the 15-warp high and moved. And then you had this, right? And this is really tough, right? Because you had this candle right here, which had increasing volume, right? So this candle right here had increasing volume. This candle had increasing volume. And both were followed by inside candles, right? So what we can do is at that point here is expect until we can get, expect a pullback, right? So we got to pull back here to the 80 MA, expect a pullback to the 80 MA, right? And then from there, we look for consecutive increasing volume, right? We finally got that here on Tesla off of this candle right here, right? We got a little pause candle, and then we continue to work our way up here throughout the day. Boom, 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 and got a nice move up, right, to get to our level. So really, really impressive stuff. Kind of tricky, but once the volume started to ramp up, right, the trend really, really was solidified, right? The buying trend was really solidified. And you can really trail these candle by candle and do pretty well. So even if you missed this first part right here, I mean, there was some fun to be had at the open. There was some nice, if you catch the pullback right, there's some fun here, but getting chopped at this on Tesla is no fun at all, right? Even a pullback like this can be really tough too. So we got to be careful, right? These big 15-minute chart really gives us a lot of clues, right? And if we go kind of into the 5-minute chart, right, one of the things that you can see on this basically is the flag after flag, right? So you can see here, right, we had kind of like this flaggish type pattern right here after the increased volume candles here and here, right? We had a little bit of push to the upside right here, so that gave a decent move, right? And then we had the increased volume in this candle corresponding with the 15-minute chart, and then we pulled back off of that as well. And it wasn't until we started to get consecutive moves up on the on that 15-minute chart that we really get a decent push here on Tesla. It ended up holding the ADMA for the rest of the day. You could also ride that as well. I prefer candle to candle, but a lot of times the ADMA, as long as you don't close below this, we never close below it with increasing volume, so that's another consideration as well. Increased volume pullback, if you can catch the breakout, the momentum breakout of a flag too, then you can hold the ADMA, right? And as long as you hold the ADMA and don't close above it, you can hold the trade, right? So that's another concept on it as well. So anyway, good stuff, guys. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. That was the big one today. We did point out its relative strength at the open. We did not expect it to go as much as it did today, but that really ended up turning into one of those power gap moves, which is really cool too. So anyway, good stuff, guys. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley, hope you're doing well out there. Shirley sent a few in here via email, so let's take a look at these and see how they're going. So we've got, let me just make sure I've got this pulled up over here properly. There we go. Good, good, good. Okay. Sorry about the screen earlier, guys. All right, let's take a look here. So net. Yeah, nice candle on this one today. I think there's like some collaboration with NVIDIA or something like that. Yeah, so a little bit of a partnership with NVIDIA, looking pretty good for it right here. Great volume on this one here. Really nice breakout candle. Keep an eye on this one on net to see if it has any, it gave kind of a nice breakout candle there. Keep an eye on it, see if it gives us a pause day, right, or gets any continued upside. Got a nice gap above too, which eventually it could do if it gets a nice earnings run. PLTR, real popular name here today, guys. This is one that's been on Paul's radar in the group, right? We got a nice dip buy on it yesterday, and just incredible movement on it here today. This was a big one too. This could have made the video here today as well, right? It was strong at the open, pulled back to the ADMA triangle, breakout with volume, and then held that ADMA up for the rest of the day. Really, really nice stuff there on PLTR. So let's see if that gets any follow through here as well. It's got some resistance, right? It's got a big cloud right here, and it's got the 50-day moving average, but today's a nice day for it to try to get started. I love how it broke out of this triangle that we talked about recently, retested it, and then pushed back off of it here today. So let's see if we get any more follow through here on PLTR. So they've got a day tomorrow. They've got like not an investors day, but they've got some sort of product demo day or something like that. So let's see if that gets any action on it. Just be careful with it. Last time it did, it pulled back and then went later. So, but keep an eye on it. It might have some action on it. So good stuff there. Zoom, again, a big day today on Zoom, guys. We pointed this one out at the open as well with some relative strength. And what I like about this is the nice pullback here to the 15 orb high, right? And it held the ADMA for the majority of the day. Double inside 15 up, right? And never closed below the ADMA with increasing volume, and ended up working its way up pretty nicely there on Zoom. So a couple good flow into some names right there. All those were really good. Upwork, again, this is a kind of a funky name, but it did have a strong day today as well, right? Could be working on a move. Maybe it'll give us a little bit of a pullback. Could be starting a fresh wave up, right? I'd like to see a little bit of a pullback on that one, but it's working on the cloud, so that's good. And then TMO, Creighton, where's he at? We've been talking about this one a while back, right? Remember this flag breakout right here that we got kind of choppy? Yeah, it's starting to get to work again, right? I mean, it's basically doing accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, accumulation, and we're doing markup right now, right? So you can see we're kind of pushing above the cloud here and getting a nice move there on TMO. So good stuff. Thanks, Shirley. I really appreciate it. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Boeing and see how it's doing here today. So Boeing with an engulfing candle today with increasing volume. That's awesome. And we ended up holding, right, the basically I think it was a 50% retrace from the move up. I've got the bearish candle right, the bearish 618 up here, but it's kind of a double bottom right here, tweezer bottom essentially off of the 50%, right? So this is kind of an interesting area. Let's see if Boeing can try to get out of here, right? So that is we got ways to go both ways. And then the PLBY, oh my goodness, how is this even a stock? It just like I mean, they just don't even care anymore, right? So anyway, but anyway, a big push up here today, and I know some folks that were able to grab some of that and did well on that too. So good stuff there. All right, so Pablo, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Suyag, so what happened to Riot? Let's take a look. So Riot, woo! Well, first of all, it was it was on Paul's bullish radar right from the weekend, right, and it was also in the bubble report as well, right. So that's one of the big that always helps things, right. So because we're read by hedge funds around the world, right. So but good stuff there. So we had this nice push up here today, and it looks like we'll be starting a wave 5, right. And the big thing is right, Bitcoin, right. So if you go to Bitcoin, right, what happened? What happened with Bitcoin? So Bitcoin got all-time highs, right? So we got fresh all-time highs on Bitcoin. That's a huge deal, right? And we got increased volume on it, right? So Bitcoin's going up, Riot's going up, right? You gotta mine your Bitcoins, right? So that was a big move right there, on Bitcoin. So Riot kind of moving in tandem with that one, and that's kind of the big move right there. Another thing too is that for whatever crazy reason, Citron decided to come out with a short report on Riot today, saying it's not like Bitcoin at all, and it is up after hours, and he's gonna get squeezed out of this one. That is no fun. I mean, they mine Bitcoin, and he's like, "Oh, you just own Bitcoin instead." Okay, but you can still own Riot too. They mine it anyway. It's like saying just own gold, don't own the miners. It's like, but you gotta have the miners anyway. So anyway, good stuff there. But so good stuff there. So yeah, so that's Riot there. DKNG basically just expanded the trend box down today. We kind of expected this type of day on it. I'm not saying I was bullish on it, but I wasn't super duper bearish on it until we can confirm bullish, because the volume was so much yesterday and the market really wasn't just tanking, right? So we had that going on there. Amazon was interesting, right? So we've had this epic run up here on Amazon. Ended up putting a big kind of shooting starish, Southern Doji on this one today. So see how that holds there on Amazon. If it wants to pull back to the 80 MA, it's got some closing gaps below that it might want to fill. And of course Boeing. So Boeing. Boeing. I mean, it's tough. We're stuck between two counts, right? You got an ABC potential, or you got a 1-2 potential right here after this potential ABC pullback, right? So potential zigzag already. So we just got to see how it goes. I mean, we're just kind of stuck between fibs right now. So anyway, really interesting stuff. So Pablo, what's going on? So still the tweet on Boeing chart relative new to TA. Could you talk about what you said? Yeah, so Boeing, again, same thing. I mean, it's the hard part here about Boeing, right? So basically what I tweeted out earlier was the bounce off the 50% retrace, right? So if you go back and you go to our series, on our Elliott Wave series, and our different lectures that we've done on Elliott Wave, one of the big things we look at are the Fibonacci retraces for when these waves are done, right? So there's a couple, there's a couple counts that you can do on this one, which makes it really, really tough here on Boeing. So really my sentiment is like, I guess bullish, maybe, right? Because we had increased volume and it's an engulfing candle, so that's good. And it might be supporting a retrace, but it only came down to the 50%, right? The 618 is more typical for a wave 2, right? So this looks like a little kind of starting wave 1, and I was kind of expecting a wave 2. So this thing could still chop around for a while. It could go A, B, C down. This is just really, really tough, right? So when Boeing gets going, you know it, right? When Boeing gives you these big candles like this, right? Boeing gets going, right? Big candle like this, you get going the next day, and then you have, which one was the one back here? Big candle like this, right? It's just Boeing, right? It's just what it likes to do. Now we're kind of in the choppy area, so I really wouldn't mess with it too much, but we're just kind of tracking it just to see which way the wave decides it wants to go. So when it does really get going, we'll have a good count on it and can get going. So good stuff there. Roy, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, JMIA. Really liking the JMIA call from Paul here today. Again, we're holding the 618 so far. Doji Day, big bounce here at the end of the day, right? So it kind of held a lot of these pre-market levels right here. Nice bounce, ABC pullback. Could be working on a wave 1 up or a fresh subwave 1 up. There's a couple things I like about it, right? So one, it looks like it's working on a larger harmonic move, right? So we've got this move down right here, this move here. Oh, I got channels going on. I need to get trend lines. Sorry. So we got this going here, this here, this here, and it could be working on a harmonic up, right? So we've got some pretty good Fibonacci's in there, right? So you could be working on some type of butterfly type stuff. So in the context of this, right, we actually could be working on a smaller butterfly type formation. We're right off of the 618, right? So now we want to see if we can get that, right? So a subharmonic right there. So, and the harmonics are all off of Fibonacci's, just like Elliott Wave, right? And so basically we're looking here at this as a potential wave 1, wave 2, and now we're going to see if the wing of this harmonic, right, is the start of a larger maybe 3 of 5 or something like that, right, to kind of give it its full move up. So generally I'm leaning pretty bullish on it. I mean, we'll see. We gave us a doji here today. I mean, we haven't invalidated any major levels yet, but if we take out this guy, right, this 3142, then we gotta, then we start to worry about it. Be like, okay, this is just sort of an ABC pullback. So anyway, so we got that going on there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there on that. AMD looking interesting. I just like how tight it got today. I like it as a jack-in-the-box candidate. It's kind of gearing up. We had a move down yesterday based on the NVIDIA news, and it seemed to recover pretty well today, right? It didn't get any fall-through. It's not like flushing or anything like that. So it kind of gapped up and held pretty strong with an inside day. So there's a good chance that we take the inside day up tomorrow, I think, and possibly get over the upward trend line and maybe get a little bit of a move for AMD. So we'll see how that goes. So that's what I'm looking at there. Keep an eye on the inside day levels and see how they go. So good stuff. All right. So messy. What do we got? We got CRM. Let's take a look. So CRM looking kind of interesting here, guys. This was in the bubble report this morning as an action name. The reason is because it had that really tight inside day, but it was tough to see where it was going to break down or go to the upside, just based on the intraday action from yesterday. It decided to want to break up. That's why I provide the levels in the newsletter, in the morning newsletter, right? And it looks like it's worked its way up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we got to the top of the channel, and then we'll see if we come back down here, right, to the bottom of it, or it might break it down out of the channel. But so far it's been doing the channel move, right? So let's see how that goes here for CRM. PLTR, let's take a look. We just looked at that again. Incredible move here today. Looks like a nice breakout out of that triangle. Let's see if we get some follow through. It was actually kind of a little bit of a breakout the other day, retrace, and now it might be starting to move. So that would be pretty cool on that one. And then Fubo, wow, really tight, narrow range day today, and that's kind of tricky, right? So we're under the 80 MA, under the 200 day. It's fresh 200 day, under the 50 day. It's got some work to do, right? But it needs some strength. Otherwise, it could be kind of bear flagging again. So keep an eye on that too. So good stuff right there. So you can't. Oh yeah, Mike. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So thanks, Sharon. I appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it. Wait. All right, I got it. So those Tesla flags in the videos, but only Tesla made the move. Yeah, that's the tough part, right? Because Nvidia is not Tesla, right? So it all comes down basically to just kind of seeing what type of volume we get, right? So the big difference between Tesla and Nvidia, right, was that none of these candles right here, right? Remember how Tesla started out? The flag started out with increased volume. We had decreased volume on this green candle right here, right? This green candle right here, I mean, it barely even moves in the context of the flag, right? So we got this candle right here. Look at that, no volume, right? This candle right here. Okay, so this one started to get going, right? We kind of paused a little bit off of it, right? But and then pulled back, right? But what happened here? This is between 315 to 330, right? So you kind of get to this. I'm sorry, 115 to 130, right? You kind of get in here. And this is really, there's no real follow through on this one. We got decreasing volume on every candle below it. There's no real buying going on this one. So this is just a scalpy type move off of that, right? And it wasn't, we got a little bit of movement at the end of the day, but other than that, it was just different, right? It was just different. And that's why, right? Because the start of the flag, right, had no interest behind it. Here on Tesla, right, somebody's behind it, right? I mean, there's something there, right? I mean, there's like, whether it's a bunch of retail investors or it's institutions, right? They're not just pushing this up like this for no reason, right? They're trying to get in, right? And then they wait for the pullback, right? And they get in again, but wait for the pullback and just ride it up, right? So it's kind of interesting stuff there. But good. So newbie, what's going on? So what do you expect Tesla to do tomorrow? Probably chop. I mean, it's tough, guys. We don't buy breakout candles. At least I don't. We're coming into some resistance here off of the geometric line. Now, if we gap above this and we see that same type of strength tomorrow, Tesla, I mean, who knows? Tesla could do this, right? But otherwise, let's see how it goes. We got a great candle today. Maybe 1 or 2 pause days would be cool, like 2 little doji days, and then we work our way up off of that for a measured move up, right? So just kind of keep an eye on that too. Cherry, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Roku and see how that's doing here today. Yeah, guys, Roku is nice today, too. So it gave a nice push here, kind of a doji reversal from yesterday. Kind of ran up into the cloud, but it did give some opportunities today. I did a trade on this one today, kind of a limit in, limit out type thing. I did like the volume that was starting to come in. I like the pause candle right here on kind of almost the same amount of volume. And I like the push here for the measured move. But it was just sort of just a trade. It was tough to really get, kind of bring a whole group into it, type thing because of the spreads and all that stuff. But it looked like it was moving if, you weren't messing with Tesla and stuff like that. So, but other than that, let's see what else we got. Good stuff. Good to see you. Let's do this. Roblox. I know, Roblox. Incredible stuff, guys. We got some option flow on this one today. Some call activity. Fresh all-time highs on Roblox, right? We looked at this potential A, B, C type move, A, B, C move, and 1, 2. Looks like we're in wave 3 here on Roblox. Really incredible stuff, guys. This was the ultimate dip right here on it, and just continue to work its way up. Just really incredible stuff there. So good stuff. Let's see if it continues to work its way up. Also a deal with Hasbro helped things a little bit today, that type of thing. So good stuff there. Walmart, kind of interesting too, guys. This is looking similar to the intraday Tesla. This actually kind of gave a funky harmonic here as well. We had a 50% retrace here and a 382 here. Right, so we got really, really close to the 618, but kind of a harmonic move, right? And a decent run up here on Walmart here. It could be flagging. That's the only thing I'd look at here on Walmart. So it's holding the 200-day moving average to see if we can get any volume out of here, right? And see if we can kind of keep going again. So that would be pretty cool on Walmart. Good stuff. So Michael, what's going on? What a day to be a crypto bull. I know, it's incredible. I mean, everything just up today. Just awesome stuff. I mean, Bitcoin, guys, just awesome. I mean, just an incredible day today. I mean, the cryptos were just rocking. So really cool stuff. And lots of thanks to, I think it was China for their cryptocurrencies or something. I don't know. Anyway, whatever's doing is making it happen. So it's all good stuff. So good. And Michael, I love it. So Dogecoin, whoop, whoop, I love it. So Dogecoin making a move. We're holding till $1, Michael. We're holding till $1. So what is it up to, like 11 cents now? That's epic. James, what's going on? Good to see you. I'm glad you're well and up and at 'em. So isn't it weird that Mara didn't go? Yeah, Mara didn't go up, which is interesting, right? So it was up a little bit, but it's kind of compressed right there. And SOS actually had like an SEC investigation or something like that today, and that was down here too. This thing does not like to play along with the other guys. And this is really interesting, right? Because it was the one that the diamond hands are trying to hold right here. But what do they have? Oh, and they're buying some more stuff. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a tough one right here. Tough to be diamond hands on this one. But I heard something about some SEC investigation or something like that. I mean, this thing had, I think it was all over the place today. Anyway. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Twitter account Colbert Research these documents suggesting it's under SEC investigation. so yeah, under the ADV on that one. We'll see how it goes, guys. But it did give a nice gap up after the pump. So anyway, we'll see how it goes there. Gemma, what's going on? Recommend a book. Nice. Well, recommend a book. Mastering the Trade. I think it's a good one. Mastering the Trade by John Carter. I think it's a great book for for traders. It's funny, right? It gets you laughing a lot. It gets you thinking a little bit differently, right? And there's plenty of other books out there that I could recommend, but I think it's a good one if you're new. Definitely want to start with. Michael, let's take a look at Grow. Let's take a look. So Grow, you've got a nice candle here today, okay, and a little bit of a gap up after hours. So yeah, so that looks okay. Let's see if it can continue to work its way up there. mRNA, yeah, lots of news after hours on these vaccines. So Johnson & Johnson kicked it all off here today, and then you got behind the scenes, you got Moderna and Pfizer being like, oh, we got a good vaccine, ours is better, right? And so we're making a commitment anyway. So it's we're getting its way above the cloud right here. So we got that going on, of course, and you got J&J. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it made a reversal. So, oh, you got a faulty vaccine? Bullish. So, we'll see how that goes there. Anyway, but I mean, the technicals on it made sense, right? I mean, it couldn't break below the pre-market lows, right? You got a higher low right here, right? And then some volume started coming and you held the ADMA up, right? So, I mean, it's that's what it did today. So, a little bit of an open gap above. But good stuff there. What else we got? So, you got NVCR. MVCR, nice. Big doji day today on this one. I love it. And then MSTR. What did this one do here today? I see it plus 130 points. Wow. Big breakout candle on that one. Right through Thor's twins on the clouds, too. That's awesome. And it's up after hours, too. Incredible move on that one. Yeah, and James, buy the dip on SOS. There you go. And then let's do this. Let's take a look at Laser. And see how Laser... Yeah, so Laser with a nasty pullback here, guys. But it's holding the 200-day moving average, right? So you got a couple trend lines here. And here, right, I'd probably like to see it get above there. It's gotten a little bit extended here. It could be working on maybe like a sharkish type pattern, right? You got to get to the 1.10, right? So you got this. Oh, I forgot to retrace it there. There. I mean, we're basically at the 618 extension. It's got a while to go get to the sharky level, but let's see how it goes. Right? We're hanging on the 200-day. See if we can get over these up downward trend lines. So, oh my goodness, yeah, it's just awful, Michael. So, anyway, so good stuff, guys. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. And oh, Tracy, what's going on? Long time no see. Let's take a look here. So you've got Calix. Let's take a look. CALX. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so Calix doing good, right? We got a couple of our trend lines from prior, right? And where it's kind of working its way back up, right? So it ended up breaking down below those trend lines and giving it a nice push, held the cloud bottom, right? It's kind of grind its way up here. This is a pretty big move right here, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little bit of a retrace coming soon, but that was a big push there on Calix. And then Open, right? So Open here is a kind of holding your geometric line a little bit, right? So let's just kind of see how that holds here as well. Up a little bit after hours. Whew. So good stuff, guys. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your night. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys bright and early for the bubble report or in the Discord. And we'll see if you guys aren't part of our group. We'll also see you here in YouTube. So be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. It goes a long way. And either way, we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow for another fun market day. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so we got several trading days left in the week. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk to you guys soon.